Hey, welcome back to the channel. Before I get into it, I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone that showed a huge amount of support on my other video called The 5 Songs That the Mandela Effect May Have Ruined for You. In the video, I asked you guys if you can like and comment on the video to help push the YouTube's algorithm to work in my favor a bit, and you guys have delivered, so thank you. And now, let's talk about the 5 hit songs that were nearly scrapped. In 1965, Keith Richards recorded a guitar track in the middle of the night right before he went to bed. When he listened to the tape later, he heard 2 minutes of acoustic guitar riff and the next 40 minutes of him snoring. So he brought one of the riffs to Mick Jagger the next day, and they began composing a song on it together. That riff eventually became I Can't Get No Satisfaction. If Keith had had his way, that song would never have seen the light of day. He thought it sounded too much like a folk song, and he thought it resembled a little too closely to Dancing in the Streets by Martha and Vandellas, which was a big hit at the time. He considered the recording an unfinished demo, and he didn't want to release it. The other members of the Rolling Stones, the manager, and the sound engineer all thought it would be a huge hit, and they were correct. The song went on to hit #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and UK single in 1965. Before this single came out, Taylor Swift was primarily known as a country artist. So when she came forward with her new album and her new musical direction that she wanted to go into her label wasn't very thrilled. They wanted her to scrap the entire album, and they even went as far as to block her album from releasing, which included her single Shake It Off. But Taylor kept pushing them to release it, and eventually they gave in and dropped her single Shake It Off and then her 1989 album. Her single Shake It Off went on to be wildly successful, and so did her 1989 album. In 1991, when Kurt Cobain played the opening riffs of Smells Like Teen Spirit to his bassist and drummer, Chris and Dave, the reactions weren't the best. Chris thought it was ridiculous, and Dave thought it sounded like a Pixies ripoff, and it sounded too much like the Pixies. And the whole idea was almost thrown away because they were fixated on the fact that it sounded too much like the Pixies. So after weeks of working on the song, Nirvana had recorded and released it as a lead-off track to the 1991 album Nevermind. Metallica's Nothing Else Matters was actually not intended to be released. It was a personal song written by the lead singer James Hetfield. In the early 90s, he wrote it for his then girlfriend and would play it over the phone for her while he was out on tour. The drummer, Lars, overheard the song and wanted to release it as a Metallica song. In an interview, James said, "This was the song that I thought was least Metallica, least likely to ever be played by us, and the last song anyone would really want to hear. It was a song for myself in my room on tour when I was really bumming out about being away from home. I'm grateful that the guys forced me to take it out of my tape player and make it Metallica." As U2 was working on their album, The Joshua Tree, their guitarist, Edge, had decided to compose the ultimate U2 live song, emerging with the idea of Where the Streets Have No Name, or at least parts of it. According to the bassist Adam, Edge actually had the beginning of the song and the end of the song figured out, but they couldn't quite get the middle figured out to get the two parts to join. So they would spend hours trying to figure out how to get the two parts to join by trying out different chord changes, and those hours started to weigh heavily on their producer, Brian Eno. Brian decided that everyone would be best served if an accident was arranged that erased the tapes of the song. He thought that if he could just erase the song from the tapes, everyone would just stop working on it. He wasn't successful in erasing the tapes, and there were even some claims and witnesses saying that he had to be physically restrained to keep him from messing with the tape and erasing the song forever. The music video of Where the Streets Have No Name went on to win a Grammy, and the song became the live performance classic. So those are the 5 hit songs that were almost scrapped. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that thumbs up button, and also subscribe if you enjoy this type of content and more. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video.